Welcome to Real Estate Investing for Women. On this show, you will learn how to create wealth through real estate the blissful way. That means with very little stress and very little time. We talk about strategies, mindset, heart set, money smarts, resources, and so much more to ensure you're able to create the success you most deeply desire. Now, here's your host, Moneeka Sawyer.
Today, ladies, I am so excited to welcome to the show our guest and a dear friend of mine, Catherine Gray. Catherine is founder of She Angels Investors, a producer, author, and TEDx speaker. She is also the host of Invest in Her podcast. Her focus is on getting women funded and just launched a new online video course called 6 Ways to Fund Your Business. Yay! She is also the co-founder of the She Angels Foundation, a nonprofit that gives grants to female foundation nonprofits that are helping women to thrive. Hello, Catherine, and welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, Moneeka. I always love your beautiful energy. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I love yours too. And ladies, I just wanted to let you know that for about a year and a half, I have been on the advisory board with Catherine. Catherine's one of the founders of the She Angels Foundation. So this is actually someone who I'm very close to, and we do amazing things together. Well, she does most of the amazing things, but
we do them together. It's a collective giving effort.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. So that's why I wanted Catherine to come on the show, because today I really wanted to emphasize that as we're going through the holiday hustle and bustle and thinking about our families and all of those things, sometimes we get a little frustrated. As a matter of fact, it was so funny. Catherine and I started with a little bit of a gripe fest. I don't normally indulge in that, but Catherine is so uplifting that I felt like I could vent and she would uplift me. Even blissful people need help. And so
that's true.
So anyways, but we're kind of going through stuff, right? Like the holidays, as joyous as it can be, it can bring up some stuff. And I find that one of the things that really helps me to get out of that place is to really think about giving to others. So how is it that I can serve family a little bit better? I know, this is one thing that Catherine and I talked about. I know I'm not going to be able to keep everybody happy. This is one of those seasons where not everybody is as determined as me to stay happy, but I can keep me happy. And a lot of that just has to do with my mindset, right? So yes, I love opening presents on Christmas morning. I love, and for us, my husband, he's got instructions. There need to be lots of gifts under the tree. Now he can buy a box of pencils and wrap each pencil separately. I just want lots of little gifts, like lots of little packages. That's the fun thing for me. It's not actually about the presents.
I get that. Give me some socks and I'm a happy camper.
That's right. Or you get a box of See's candy and wrap each one separately. I just like lots of little packages, right? So they don't need to be expensive. But
speaking of See's candy, my wife and I went into See's candy yesterday. And I said, well, I don't know which one I want. The lady says, oh, do you want to try the caramel? I go, yeah, okay. So I eat the caramels. My wife says, okay, that's it. That's the only one you can have.
You're like, wait a minute.
I'm like, yeah, wait a minute. I wanted another one. Thank God she keeps me in line.
We need those people in our life. So I love this look of presents.
Yeah, I would eat the whole box.
I know, right. Exactly. But I think the thing that really keeps me joyful, so that's my sort of little girl wanting to have fun on Christmas morning, right? But what keeps me really uplifted through the whole season is really thinking about how I can be of service. How can I be of service to my family? When I'm buying gifts, it's really like, what would this person really love? It's really thinking about the best in each of the people that I love, and then giving that person the best of me, right? What can I get them that they would love? It doesn't have to be expensive. It could be, I got someone like pepper jelly, like super yummy, right? So what is it that would make them smile? And I imagine that smile, right? So there's that. But then there's also the broader vision. How can I give to the world? And you ladies know that so much of, for me, bliss is about how I contribute, how I contribute to the world. And so that's why I really wanted Catherine to come on, because I really want to focus to help everybody to focus on this idea of giving, Christmas being the season of giving. So we get out of our own way and allow joy in. And so that's really what this show is about. And since Catherine and I are in this foundation together and she's the founder, I thought there was no person better to have this conversation with than Catherine. So sorry for that total big, large lead in, Catherine, but welcome.
Yeah, and happy holidays. We're excited. You and I both love the holidays. But I agree with you that giving can mean giving a gift, but also what we're talking about, I think, is giving something to an organization, a nonprofit that's helping somebody who's underserved. And what a great feeling that is. So that's really why we launched the She Angels Foundation, which Moneeka and I are both on the board for that. And the reason that we started it is because women and girls get less than 1.6% of all charitable giving. So it's really bleak. And so we thought, let's create a foundation that we give to Women and Girls Initiative. So we give to female-founded nonprofits that are helping women to thrive. Let me give you an example. We gave to an organization that helps women veterans get back on their feet. Women came back from the war and they are very underserved as getting financial and other help to get them back in the workforce. So we gave to an organization that helps that. We gave to another one called Hope Gardens that helps women of domestic violence have a place to be housed while they are getting back on their feet, and they help educate them, help them get a job, and help them get back in the game. Another one is People's Pottery Project. They help formerly incarcerated women that need to learn a profession. They teach them the craft of pottery making. Then they sell the pottery on their site to employ these women to give them a future. So this is just a cross section of who we've given to, right, Moneeka? And it's a collective giving circle. So when you become a member, like we are, it's totally tax deductible. It goes to a grant that helps one of these entities that's helping women. And then the fun part of it is that all the members are invited to both online and offline salons with other fabulous and amazing accomplished women for free. So once you're a member, you make your tax deductible donation, you get to attend everything for free and just collaborate with other incredible women. Get to be part of the check giving to the grants, for the grants recipients. And really just you're stronger when you do collective giving. Like when we all pool our monies together, we have more money to make more of an impact than just you or I writing, $100 check to some organization, and we really don't see where it goes or know where it goes. This way you get to actually meet the recipients, hear what they're doing with the funding, and really feel like you're a part of it. So it really is a magical organization, SheAngelsFoundation.org, for any listener there that's a female-founded nonprofit that is helping women to soar, or if you are around the holidays or any time during the year and you want to become a member and make a donation, it's a wonderful way. Like you said, giving is one of the biggest highs that we can.
It's called the Giver's High. Actually, it's been named. It's called the Giver's High.
It releases endorphins when you give and help other people. It's a real thing. So it's something everybody should be partaking in during the holidays for sure.
Yeah. So. I want to mention a couple of other things. Thank you for that. First of all, before this skips my mind, you can actually give without giving by going through Amazon Smile, because the She Angels Foundation, you can actually look them up, put them in as the foundation that you want to give for Amazon Smile. So a portion is donated every time you make a purchase. It's amazing. It's like
giving. I do that.
It's like giving sort of on secret or blindly or behind, kind of like as you go along, there's this wake of giving that happens. It's really amazing. And everybody in my world is donating to the She Angels Foundation through Amazon Smile. And I love that. I love that you guys set that up. And
I love that. That's passive giving. And like you said, every time I make a purchase on Amazon, I do see it says you gave to She Angels Foundation. So it actually reminds the person that a portion went to a nonprofit. I know, it's so cool.
And right now, when we're doing all of our shopping, I mean, I don't know how many people are out and about. I kind of tend to be more of a hermit. I cocoon during December. So my Christmas shopping is done. But if you're shopping online, that's a great way to do. And we all like passive forms of dealing with money, ladies, right? This is a real estate show. We like passive income. We can also do passive donating. It's awesome. So
exactly.
And then the other thing that I wanted to mention is I've been to several of the salons, both online and in real life with the She Angels. And what's really fascinating about these ladies is, first of all, they're all very successful. So you go and you have these conversations with all these women that are so much smarter than you in what they do. So it's a huge, expansive experience hanging out with these ladies. The other really cool thing is I know that so much of the time, as women that are aspiring to success or have reached a certain level of success, what we start to notice is that the people around us don't support us in that success, or they're not happy for us. There might be some jealousy. There might be some people kind of like, making unkind comments, like don't get too big for your britches, or, whatever it is that people say, right? But when you hang out in a community like with the She Angels, all of those women are dealing with those same things and have become successful anyways, and not successful by stepping on others, but by lifting others up. And so you're in a community of women that are like-minded, that can help you to expand, and where the conversations and the connections are really magical. So, and together we raise our own bliss by making contributions to uplift other women. So it's this beautiful synergy of women supporting women all the way from the top, all the way to the people that we actually give money to, right? And then the people that we're giving money to, who they serve. So it's kind of indescribable until you experience it. I know from Catherine and Deb, Catherine's wife, I know why it's this way because I know them. And I know, of course, it would be this way, but it's hard to describe that until you actually experience it. And so, ladies, I would really recommend that you go to sheangelsfoundation.org and just check it out. See what they've got. And a website's never going to produce the kind of enthusiasm or understanding that talking to people would, or anything like that. But they do have salons where you can attend, as a non-member for free to kind of just check it out. So if you're interested in that, you can contact Catherine or me and we can get you hooked up. So this isn't supposed to be like a total sales pitch for She Angels Foundation, but both Catherine and I are passionate about it. And so we thought we'd just bring it up. But let's move on.
and really, it's a gift that when we get to talk about it, because when people participate, it impacts their life in a beautiful way. So it's really, it's a piece of information we're sharing, and we're just saying, this is a way to lift up your soul during the holidays throughout the year, and to feel good about your own success by helping others.
Right. I love that. Yeah, thank you. So, Catherine, let's talk specifically about funding women. This is one of those things you're so passionate about. That's what your TEDx was about, right? So talk to us a little bit about what this looks like in the world, why women aren't getting funded, what the statistics are like. I'm going to let you take it away because you're so good at talking about all of that.
Well, thanks. I certainly am passionate about it, as you know. Yes, I did a TEDx talk called Fund Women, Save the World. I really do believe that by funding women, we can save the planet. So many women have the solutions for the environment, for cures, for all kinds of technical innovations, and they need to be funded. So why are we talking about this? Because just like in the charitable world, in the for-profit world, women get less than 2% of venture capital funding. This means 98% goes to men, and that is mostly white men. So why is that? People tend to invest in people they identify with, as I mentioned in the TED Talk. And that's because They just understand better the connection, the product of someone that looks like them. Okay, that's why it's important that we have more women and more people of color in the investment decision-making world. So what does that mean? Well, in venture capital, young people can start studying business and say, I'm going to go work for a venture capital firm, and start from the ground up, learning that really exciting world of new innovations that are helping to change the world. So the more women we have involved in that, moving up the ranks into the decision-making arenas of venture capital firms, the more it will level the playing field. But then what else can we do besides that? Every woman listening should become an angel investor in another woman. And there's many ways that you can do that. So it could be as easy as a $100 donation on a crowdfunding site, such as I Fund Women, or an equity crowdfunding site like WeFunder or Start Engine. There's many out there nowadays, Republic, which is affiliated with SheWorks. And equity crowdfunding is something that's new. So you don't have to be an accredited investor in order to invest in an equity crowdfunding, which is something new since Obama signed this into law. And it made it possible for smaller businesses to actually sell equity in their company, and for unaccredited investors, meaning people that an accredited investor has over $1 million in assets and earns over $200,000 a year. Well, that's a small part of the population that used to be the only people that could invest for equity shares in a company. But now that has changed. And so equity crowdfunding is something that everybody should educate themselves on and jump into.
May I jump in right here really quickly?
Yes.
Okay.
And then,
so I know sometimes I hear all these words, and now I've been listening to them for a year and a half. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I understand all that, but I want to back up a little bit so that my ladies can catch up with us. So ladies, do you know what an equity share is in a company? I'm sure you do. You've heard of it. It's called stock. Usually. So that's how normally a layman who is interested in a company but isn't formally involved in the company, they're not on the board, they're not working for the company or any of that stuff, we can invest, right? So we buy stock. And you can buy that for very smart portions. But a lot of these smaller women-owned companies have not yet gone public. They still need funding, right? And so it used to be that as a venture capitalist, you could come in, you have $100 million or whatever, and you invest, and now you have equity. But those of us that have $100 don't get any equity. Now, what Catherine is saying is that you can basically, it's not stock, so don't misunderstand me, but I'm just going to say it as an analogy. You can kind of buy stock in a company that to help them to start and to get off the ground. And you, in turn, get a piece of that company, right? You might have $100, you might have $1,000, you might have $50, right? You can get in for any portion in a company that you believe in, or a company that's providing a service that you believe is needed in the world. So that's when we're talking about equity funding. It's a new way of funding for the people that don't have a ton of money, right? That wasn't available to us before. We've heard a little bit of this stuff like with Kickstarter, some of the others that are out there, right? The crowdfunding. Yes. It's a similar kind of thing, but in the crowdfunding, and Catherine, correct me if I'm wrong, with the crowdfunding, you don't usually get equity in the company, right?
It's like a donation, you get swag or you get the product.
That's right. That's right. But if you go with some of these other organizations, you actually get equity in the company, which means you are a piece of their growth. You're a piece of the excitement of what they're going to do in the world. So, and it is really exciting and fun because you're watching them, not just because you're going to get something cool, but because of the impact that you're now making on so many women's lives.
Right. And so then if you want to play a little bigger game, more women need to be angel investors. And there's so many angel investment companies, groups popping up all over the country, just about in every city. And you can look them up, angel groups that focus on women. Or you can go and learn, what does it mean and how do I become an angel investor? It's so exciting. It can be way more profitable than just investing in stocks or bonds or, things of that nature that are our typical investments. In fact, a lot of angel investors will make 6 times, 10 times their money. Now, you could also lose your money just like in any stock. You could buy a stock on the stock exchange and you could lose your money in that, or you could make money in it. But when you do angel investing, you're really in on the ground floor, usually before a company's going public. So it's a rare opportunity. It's really where the very wealthy make a lot of money, but now it's more of an opportunity for smaller entities per people to invest, 1,000, 5,000, 20,000, whatever, as they jump into it, but don't do it blindly. Go to an angel investment group and learn about it. They already know how to vet the people. They already understand that. I'm not saying angel invest in someone on the street that asks you to invest in their company, but these angel groups are wonderful. They have groups of women that are doing this and they vet it for you, and you can learn and understand about how they value it and caps and all these things that let you know if it's a good investment. But it's an exciting world. I say it's like the new book club. So instead of getting with a group of women and reading a book, you get with a group of women and look at a pitch deck and see all the innovations that are happening. This is one of the things I love, Moneeka, about doing my Invest in Her podcast. Every week, I either have on women that are investing in other women or women that are looking for funding. And they always have incredible, extraordinary innovations. And so I'm exposed to this every week. And anybody could be, by being an angel investor and joining one of these groups, you get to hear about the newest, latest innovations that are coming on the horizon that women are inventing. And without them, the world would be suffering from not having all these innovations. It's so important that women get behind women and invest in another woman. So whenever I have a platform like I do today with your show, thank you very much, I always say, everyone that's listening, be sure that this week you go and invest in another woman, whether it's in an angel group, if you're a bigger investor as a venture capital partner, or just $100 in a equity crowdfunding campaign. Everyone can do this. If everyone does it, we will move the needle more quickly so that we're getting at least 50% of all the funding and not such a small percentage, because it will impact the world and you will have a part in that you're playing to solve this issue. It starts with each of us.
It starts with each of us. And, that's so important, Catherine, to remember, is that so much of the time we think, well, I can't make an impact. I've got $5, right? Or I can't even make it to get enough gifts for my kids or whatever it is, right? $5 makes a difference. 100,000 people getting $5, right? What is that? That's 500,000 people, right?
Right.
So don't minimize your ability to contribute if it's in your heart to contribute. And I would say find it in your heart to contribute, simply because then you get to have that experience of the giver's high. And you will then understand why I call this one of the bliss practices, right? And then you can make it sort of a part of the way that you live your life to help to up-level your own bliss in your own life. So whatever it is that you have to contribute, find a place that makes your heart sing, that really speaks to you. Of course, Catherine and I would say, contribute to something that supports women in some way. We'd love it if you did sheangelsfoundation.org, but there are lots of different organizations that you can give to that might speak more to you. So I give a lot to She Angels. My husband gives a lot for women specifically in our area that are victims of domestic violence, because in our area, there's so many women that are very wealthy that get abused. And they don't get a lot of compassion. It's not spoken about, right? But they still need support. And so my husband feels for these women, they need support. They're not getting a lot anywhere else. So he contributes locally to that organization. So we've got our places where our heart goes to those people, and it makes us feel really, really good that we're making.
Well, I love your husband already.
I know he's a good guy, man. And then Catherine, you also know that I still continue to contribute to a school in India to raise up the education of women in the villages in India, girls in the villages of India. and the boys that support them, right? Because for me, it's all about community. If a woman's trying to raise, but the men are pulling them down, it's still a patriarchal society. The women will never rise, right? So you got to kind of educate everybody. So I put a lot of my time, energy, and money into an organization. It's called the schoolofhopefund.com is that website. But that one is where I contribute to the education of girls in India to uplift those communities. And we've created huge impact in those communities over the 20 years that I've been contributing there. So we all have our places, right? We have our places that our hearts really feel like we want to make an impact.
It's funny that you mentioned this because we're talking about Amazon, and while Amazon is very convenient, there's another site that I'm a big fan of called Good Goods, GUUDS, because everything you buy on the site goes to a cause for the greater good. So you might buy socks and it helps, save the rainforest, or you might buy a belt and it helps save the elephants. Every product you buy on that site does something for the greater good. And then there's another one called the W Marketplace. It's all women-owned businesses. So it's women helping women. So both of those I'm a big fan of.
Could you give us those URLs again?
Yeah, it's Good Goods, spelled with GUUDS.com. And then the W Marketplace, which I believe is also .com.
Okay, great. And mine is schoolofhopefund.com. And then, of course, She Angels is sheangelsfoundation.org.
.org. Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. So there are some places to go kind of take a look at ways that you can contribute, but don't be limited by those. Find a way to make a contribution that makes your heart sing. And I think what Catherine and I are just trying to emphasize is make sure that we're supporting each other as women. A friend of mine, Lisa Gibbons, once told me as we were having a conversation, she says, young women compete, wise women support and uplift.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
That's so right on.
Right. So who are you? Are you, or actually what she said was girls compete, women uplift and collaborate. I think she even said collaborate. Obviously, I'm completely screwing this up, but
we get the gist.
but that's the thing is we're not, I hate to say it this way, but so much of the time us women don't pay attention to the way that we need to support each other, right? We're so focused on our children, our husbands, or, the men that we work for at work. A lot of the times there's a lot more women out there at the top, fortunately, but there's so many people that we're trying to satisfy that we forget that we need to support and uplift one another. We feed each other. We're the ones pouring tea in each other's cup to keep ourselves uplifted and capable of continuing to give to all the people out there. So remember to support each other. We need it, right?
Absolutely. In the profit world and the nonprofit world. So every woman needs to be doing something to help lift up another woman, whether it's for a nonprofit and for profit. We should be doing both. Women are very comfortable giving to a charity, but women need to get more comfortable investing in another woman. Women tend to be more successful business owners anyway, so it's a good bet. It's a good investment. I hope we plant that message today that it's so important in every way we can to be supporting other women. I know you and I are big believers in that. We're big supporters of each other. And there's such a magic in that, a gratification in helping other women.
Yeah. Thank you, Catherine. So, ladies, we have more with Catherine. We're really going to be doing a deep dive on the 6 different ways to fund your business, since we're all about funding. So, Catherine, can you tell us a little bit, kind of high level, what we're going to be covering in Extra?
Sure. In Extra, I'm going to be talking about my e-video online course called 6 Ways to Fund Your Business. Every week, I have the honor of talking to all these different women entrepreneurs that have incredible ideas that they're launching or businesses that they're growing. And they always want to know, well, how do I launch it, or how do I take it to the next level? And so I've done all the legwork for them as to what are the various ways that you can get funded, and how do you access that funding? And that's really what the course 6 Ways to Fund Your Business is about. And that's what we'll be talking about. People can find out about it on my website, which is www.sheangel, singular, Sheangel Investors, plural. So sheangelinvestors.com. And everything's there. When you sign up, we give you a free white paper that, talks about the various ways you can get funded. And then if you want to get the online course, it's a deeper dive so that you actually learn, which is the best fit for you, what are the options, and how do you access it?
Right. I love that. I'm super excited to talk about that. So ladies, definitely stay tuned for Extra. Okay. So could you tell us, Catherine, one more time, how people can get in touch with you if they've got questions about She Angels Foundation or the e-course or any of that stuff?
Sure. So you can always reach me at contact@sheangelinvestors.com right from the website. You can go to the website and send me an email. You can also find me, of course, on LinkedIn. And then you can also follow us. I'm on Instagram, Catherine Gray, Invest in Her, which is the name of my podcast, which you can tune into anytime. Follow us there. Or She Angel Investors is on all the other social media like Facebook and Instagram. And I think it's She Angels Invest on Twitter. So we would love to connect with you online, wherever you're swimming.
Perfect. I love that. Thank you. Well, Catherine, this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for talking about this with me today.
Loved it. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And ladies, stay tuned for Extra. We're going to be talking specifically about 6 ways to get funding for your business. Going to be really exciting. So stay tuned for that. If you are subscribed, stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, but would like to be, just go to realestateinvestingforwomenextra.com and you get the first 7 days for free. So maybe, you get signed up, you check things out. And if you decide to stay, that'd be amazing. That's realestateinvestingforwomenextra.com. For those of you that are leaving us now, thank you so much for joining Catherine and I for this conversation. I wish you a very happy holidays. May your heart be filled with joy and love and laughter. And I will talk to you next time. Love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you'd like to find out more about how to become a blissful millionaire, go to blissfulinvestor.com. See you next time.